To kick us off today, we are making these French dip sandwiches. So over to this pot on my stove, I'm adding in 3 cups of water. Next, add in 1 packet of au jus gravy mix. Just dump that packet in there. It can't get any easier than this. Next, give it a whisk and bring this up to a boil. Then drop it down to a simmer and let this simmer on your stove for about 3 minutes or until it slightly starts to thicken up. Now add in 1 packet of thin sliced roast beef. You could use any roast beef that you like or can find at the store. Let this cook in the sauce for about 3 minutes. After that time is up, just remove the meat with a slotted spoon to a bowl and then set this bowl to the side. Over to my sheet pan lined with parchment paper, I have my hoagie rolls. You could use however many hoagie rolls you'd like for this recipe. This recipe is so easy to double, or you could even half it. Now I have my sliced provolone cheese. Place a couple slices in each hoagie roll. If you're not a provolone cheese fan, you could of course use other cheese that you do like. And then just bake this in your oven on the broil setting for about 2 minutes or until it is nice and golden brown like this. Now place the slices of roast beef in the hoagie rolls, and then you could serve this up. This dinner was so good. It is so perfect at this time of year because it absolutely is so easy to make. We dipped it in the au jus sauce and it just made it so rich and perfect. I did serve this with some cut up pineapple on the side. I also served it with some Brussels sprouts. I kept it simple with the Brussels sprouts. I just used one of these like frozen bags that you get from the grocery store, and I just popped it in my microwave for a few minutes. Now we are making these personal pizzas and they are so good. I have my sheet pan right here, and on my sheet pan I'm just slicing 1 loaf of French bread in half. Now in this little bowl I have 5 tablespoons of melted butter. Add in a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, onion powder, and garlic powder. This is going to give it so much great flavor. Give it a little whisk and then brush this on top of the French bread. Then you are going to bake this in a preheated oven to 425 degrees for about 5 minutes or until the edges are golden brown. This is going to help it so the bread doesn't get soggy once you add your pizza toppings on. But here's what it looks like out of the oven. So beautiful and golden. Now to top these French bread pizzas, I'm starting out with an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Tomato sauce is typically a lot more inexpensive than like jars of pizza sauce at the store. And this can of tomato sauce had basil, garlic, and oregano in it, so it was pretty flavorful. Next, I'm going to be sprinkling on some mozzarella cheese. I do want to let you know you can make these French bread pizzas however you choose to do so. You could use like pesto as a base, you could use Alfredo sauce, but to this side of the French bread pizzas I'm just adding a little bit of pineapple, ham, and then to this side I'm doing ham and a little bit of bell peppers. Like I said, make it your own. That's what's nice about these French bread pizzas, is you could kind of make a section for anybody in your party or your family. This is going to bake in a preheated oven to 425 degrees for about 5 more minutes. I did sprinkle on a little bit more Italian seasoning just to give it added flavor on the top. And now that it is out of the oven, you could enjoy it. This recipe is on page 169 in my cookbook. It's in the super quick dinner section, and I have some cookbooks available right now if you don't have one yet, but you could serve this pizza up. We served our French bread pizzas with a side salad with iceberg lettuce, tomato, onion, avocado, a little bit of salad topper, and ranch dressing for the dressing. If you haven't tried these French bread pizzas yet, you need to. I've also been wanting to try them with like buffalo chicken flavors or barbecue chicken flavors. That would be so good. Now we're getting started on the sausage and potato skillet. So I have a 14-ounce package of smoked sausage right here. I'm just going to open that package up and I'll slice it into half moons. Over to this pan on my stove, I added in a tablespoon of olive oil. Next, I'm adding in the sausage that we just cut up. Now add in a 12-ounce frozen bag of green beans or any veggies that you like. I have a 32-ounce bag of frozen diced hash browns right here. I'm just using about 16 ounces of that, so about half the bag. For the seasonings, I'm adding in a teaspoon of salt, pepper, onion powder, and then 2 teaspoons of paprika, a fourth a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. But if you don't like things spicy, don't add the cayenne in. A half a teaspoon of dried thyme, and then a tablespoon of minced garlic. Give this a stir and let this cook for about 8 minutes on your stove on a higher heat, stirring it occasionally. At the 8-minute mark, just add in a tablespoon of butter. Let the butter melt down for about a minute, and then you are going to add in a half a cup of shredded Mexican style cheese. If you're not a cheese fan, don't add the cheese in, or you could use other cheeses that you would like. Once the cheese melts down, you could serve this up. This dinner is absolutely fantastically amazing just because everything cooks in just one pan on the stove. You literally throw the ingredients into the pan. It is that simple. It just cooks all together in absolutely no time at all. You will love this one. Then you could also make it your own by adding ingredients or subtracting ingredients. Now we're making this creamy beef pasta, so to this pot of boiling water on my stove, I'm adding in 3/4 pound of angel hair pasta. This is the half-length angel hair pasta, so it fits so nicely in the pot. This pasta only cooks for about 6 minutes on the stove, so it really cooks quickly. To this pan on my stove, I'm adding a pound of ground beef in along with a diced yellow onion and a tablespoon of minced garlic. Break that ground beef up and cook it through right now. But now that my pasta is tender, I'm going to strain it and set it to the side. Now that my ground beef is cooked through, I'll just remove any excess grease from my pan. I don't have a lot of grease, so I'm just absorbing it with a paper towel. Now I'm adding in 4 ounces of cream cheese. Break that cream cheese up a little just so it melts down nicely. Next, you're going to add in 24 ounces of marinara sauce. This 3-cheese marinara sauce is really good. It's just been one of my favorites recently, just to let you know. Then I added in a half a cup of mozzarella cheese. Let the cream cheese and mozzarella cheese melt down right now. It will only take a minute or two, but once the cream cheese is nice and melty and the mozzarella cheese is melty, just stir everything together. Now add that cooked pasta in, stir the pasta in so it gets coated in the sauce. Then you could serve this delicious dinner up. Here's what dinner looks like. I think this one was my little one's favorite meal out of the entire week. They just love anything with marinara sauce, especially my 2-year-old. But I've made a variation of this in the past with tortellini instead of the angel hair pasta, and that was so delicious too. So you could do it either way, and it is amazing. I haven't made chicken tacos in such a long time, so now we're making these chicken tacos. To this pan on my stove, I added in a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of olive oil. Then I added in a pound of chicken tenderloins, or you could use thin sliced chicken breast. Next, add in a tablespoon and a half of taco seasoning and just let the chicken cook through at this point. While my chicken is cooking away, I am going to get started on the taco shells. So I'm just using these taco shells and I'll bake them in the oven for a few minutes. Or you could use flour tortillas if you prefer those instead of the hard shells. But now that my chicken's cooked through, I'm adding in the juice from a half of a lime. Next, add in a half a cup of tomato salsa. You could use any type of salsa that you like. Give this a stir and let this simmer covered for a couple of minutes. This is really going to make the chicken nice and saucy. But after the chicken is perfectly saucy, you are just going to fill up your tortillas now. So I'm just going to stuff my tortillas with a chicken tenderloin in each of them, and then you could top these with anything that you like. We did a little bit of cheese, diced tomato, diced onion, avocado, lettuce, a little bit of cilantro, and sour cream. These chicken tacos are so delicious. My little ones really enjoy them too, and then you could top them with anything that